This man's name was Jiang Tan. He used to be a legendary gamer. But now, he was just a skeleton. Even now, he still couldn't understand how this had happened to him. In 2025, a game called Wilderness Era launched its open beta. Its realism and freedom were unmatched, driving billions of players around the world into a frenzy. Swordsmanship and magic, once mere products of human imagination, were brought to life in this game. With thousands of professions and hundreds of quests, the fantasy world trapped countless internet dwellers. The game's success meant a flood of orders for game-boosting studios. Players for hire were working overtime without rest. Jiang Tan, who had once played the test version of Wilderness Era, was one of those employees. But less than 3 weeks after the official release, during the marathon mission session, he collapsed from exhaustion. He died suddenly after an all-nighter. His studio co-workers were quick to react, not out of concern for his life, but because they hadn't retrieved the high-value gear from his in-game character. Since he died while logged in, all the gear was lost with him. As Jiang Tan was lost in thoughts of his demise, a voice snapped him out of it. "Hey, what's wrong with you? Not responding at all, move it. If you don't, I'm gonna die." The speaker was a cute blonde girl with shimmering purple eyes. Her clothes tattered like she'd just survived a fierce battle. Jiang Tan, now a confused skeleton, scratched his skull and looked around, completely lost. The girl beamed with relief when he moved. "Great, you're finally responding." He looked around again, thinking, is this the afterlife? But when he froze up again, the girl grew anxious. "Hey, why'd you stop moving again?" Suddenly, the ground cracked open with a loud boom, flinging rocks, and a few skeletons, into the air. Jiang Tan and the girl turned toward the noise. An elite zombie wolf had appeared, jaws clamped around another skeleton, looking terrifying. Still not grasping the situation, Jiang Tan blinked. "A zombie wolf? Quick, stop it," the blonde girl shouted, panicked. But Jiang Tan was lost in thought again. "Isn't that a zombie wolf from the newbie village in Wilderness Era? I get it now. This isn't the afterlife. This is the desert newbie zone. I'm inside the game." The girl's voice jolted him back. "Stop zoning out. If it reaches us, we're dead." Only now did he really notice her beside him. He turned to study her, curious. Who is this girl, and why does she think she can order me around? Just then, the zombie wolf growled and charged. Its jaws opened wide, ready to devour them. Jiang Tan's mind raced. Zombie wolf, fanged creature, level 2, weak point, nape of the neck. I've killed countless of these during testing and boosting. As the wolf leapt toward them, he pinpointed its weakness and swung his shabby sword with precision. But instead of a satisfying kill, his arm snapped from the impact. Only then did Jiang Tan realize, something's wrong with my body. Before he could react further, the wolf lunged from behind and rammed him, sending his skeleton body flying several meters. What the hell? Why am I this weak? Crashing to the ground, he finally looked at his arm, just bones. Wait, this arm? I get it. I've been resurrected as a low-tier skeleton soldier. This body must have been summoned by a newbie necromancer. He crawled forward, trying to retrieve his sword, but the zombie wolf stomped on him, shattering his brittle bones. He couldn't move. Crap, he cursed internally. I just started and it's already over? His mind wandered to his past life. A rising star in the gaming world, two-time world champion, countless legendary matches. He once felt like the protagonist of the world. But a car accident ruined everything. Its aftermath destroyed his gaming skills, ending his career. To pay medical bills and penalties for contract breaches, he abandoned his pride and became a game booster. A man who never bowed to fate, died like trash. He remembered the cold, heartless voices of his colleagues after his death. Forget CPR. Just call the funeral home. He's already dead. Damn it. He still had tons of unretrieved gear. Should we inform his family about compensation? Compensation? Please. He owed the club a fortune. They're lucky to break even. Haha. Tragic he never got to repay it all. Well, at least he died as a champion. No regrets, right? Yeah, I guess. Jiang Tan gritted his teeth. No regrets? My whole life is regret. There's no way I'm giving up. If fate gives me one more shot, I'll take back everything. With that resolve, his skeletal body stirred. His eye sockets glowed, red turning to violet, sparks crackling inside. He reached out and gripped his sword. Then, ding. System alert. Strong desire to live detected. God tier evolution system activated. The system will assist you in evolving into the most powerful being in this game world. Current status, near death. Special starter pack activated. A purple light burst from Jiang Tan's body, restoring his life force. The zombie wolf sensed danger and slowly backed away. The system upgraded his weapon. The blonde girl stood frozen, eyes wide with disbelief. System alert. Attributes boosted by 100%. Duration: 30 seconds. Jiang Tan stood tall, sword in hand, eyes burning with determination. I want to live. With one swift strike, he sliced the zombie wolf clean in two. Blood splattered everywhere, drenching the blonde girl. The wolf's head thudded to the ground. It had been killed, clean and fast. Rain began to fall. Jiang Tan clenched his bony hand. I did it. System alert. Enhancement ended. You have slain a level 3 zombie wolf. Gained 10 EXP. Evolution points. 0. He looked up at the sky, grinning. I'm alive. Then he looked at his body. This doesn't feel as weird as I thought. The blonde girl stared at him, baffled. This low-level skeleton I summoned, how is it so strong? The system interface appeared. Name: Jiang Tan. Level: 1. Race: Undead Skeleton. Note: you need 90 more evolution points for your first evolution. Work hard. Host: Wilderness was a game known for its extreme freedom and realism. Because of this, it offered players an endless range of possibilities. Among them, the chance of summoning a mutated creature was astronomically low, so rare that it wouldn't be an exaggeration to call it 1 in 100 million. Such mutated summons, however, were incredible assets for leveling up, powerful enough to turn monster grinding into a dream come true. After reading up on all this, the blonde girl gasped in awe. So that's what happened. I was insanely lucky to summon a mutated creature. Just then, the loot window popped up. The zombie wolf that had just died dropped a wolf fang, usable for crafting or synthesis, valued at 1 copper coin. Other items had also dropped, and the girl let out a cry of excitement. Look at this, gear and materials all over the place. This is all money. Suddenly, a zombie wolf thudded to the ground right in front of her. Startling her, she squinted, then muttered, "Geez, scared me to death. I thought it was charging at me." After realizing it was already dead, she added, "I've killed another one already? I can't even tell which one's the summon anymore." She glanced nervously at the system panel. Even if it's a mutated summon, I should only be able to call a level 1 monster. But looking at the pile of wolf corpses, she had to admit, this is seriously overpowered. Elsewhere, Jiang Tan was still steadily cutting down zombie wolves one by one. The bodies were piling up. He was satisfied, he had now fully adapted to the skeleton body. The wolves in the newbie area no longer posed a threat. As long as I keep going, survival should be no problem. After downing the last wolf, he finally paused. The system chimed repeatedly. He had leveled up. Jiang Tan couldn't help but marvel. To think I've come back to life in a game world this way. The one who summoned him had to be a player. He had no vocal cords and couldn't speak. But something even more surprising was staring him in the face, the system interface. Across the screen was a message: God-tier evolution system activated. Reading through the prompt, Jiang Tan started to understand. As long as he kept killing monsters, or people, he could evolve. But to unlock enhancement points, he'd have to slay bosses. He looked at his cracked, worn sword. Enhancement? Could it mean strengthening weapons? Interesting. Even back when I played games, I never heard of a system like this. Auto-upgrading a summoned creature? He wondered to himself, if a low-level skeleton like me keeps evolving, what will I become? Suddenly, the system notified him. Evolution points sufficient. Evolution available. Jiang Tan was stunned. After rereading, he was thrilled. It was time for his first evolution. The system asked, spend 100 evolution points to become skeleton swordsman? He hesitated briefly. If there's no better option, I might as well see how far this system can take the lowest tier summon like me. He tapped confirm. Immediately, the system announced the start of evolution. Flames burst to life around his bones, flickering and growing until they engulfed him. System messages flashed in rapid succession. Host is evolving. Evolution shield active. 3 seconds. HP plus 80%. Mana plus 80%. All attributes increased by 80%. Received unique weapon. Bone-edged steel sword. Congratulations. Host has evolved to level 2, skeleton swordsman. When the evolution ended, Jiang Tan looked at his updated status panel and was floored. This one evolution gave me this much power? The system added. New skill acquired. Rapid blade technique. He was stunned. Even a skill? And 20% attack speed? That perfectly compensates for the skeleton's low strength. He gave the sword a test swing. The length felt just right. The weight manageable, even without using any skills. My combat strength might already be above that of a player at the same level. But then, a troubling thought hit him. If other players discover that I, just a summon, have self-awareness, I'll be treated like some kind of abomination. I'd rather avoid trouble, but it's only a matter of time before it finds me. I need power. Power to take on 100 enemies alone. Only then can I survive in this world. The system blinked. Claim your next evolution points. Time to find more evolution points. Killing wolves won't cut it anymore. I need to move to a new area. And there's one thing I need to figure out. What exactly is the bond between a revived summon like me and my summoner? Until I know for sure, I need to stick with her. He turned to look at the blonde girl, who was joyfully collecting loot, wolf pelts, bones, meat, all worth real money. I remember, currency in this game can be exchanged for real-world cash. And the exchange rate is insanely good. Since the game just launched, this is the perfect time to cash in. He walked up to her. She turned, saw him, and jumped. Oh, little skeleton, you look kinda different now? He was speechless, but her reaction confirmed his suspicion. She was a total newbie. She stood up and examined him from head to toe. Your sword changed too. Did you level up? So cool. You can fight monsters and level up. Definitely a mutated summon. She threw her arms around him, laughing. My path to greatness depends on you now. Let me finish picking up all this loot, and then we'll wait for the wolves to respawn and farm them again. One night is all we need to become rich. Jiang Tan sighed. Time to try communicating. He stepped back, made an X with his arms, and shook his head. Sure enough, she understood. Huh? You're saying no? He pointed in another direction. You want us to go somewhere else to farm? Seeing how quickly she picked up on his meaning, he couldn't help feeling a bit proud. Guess my gestures are pretty spot on. But the girl refused. She dropped to her knees and wailed. No, I don't want to go. There are so many monsters here. And you're amazing at killing them. I love this spot, I'm not leaving. Jiang Tan blinked in disbelief. First time I've seen someone begging their summon. The monsters here would soon be wiped out. It wouldn't be long before other players discovered the area. One or two might be fine. But if high-level guild players showed up, that'd be trouble. The game didn't even have a red name system yet. And peeking in the wild to steal loot or monsters was totally normal. If this girl got herself killed, he might die for good. He had no choice. Without warning, Jiang Tan picked her up and slung her over his shoulder. She froze in confusion. What are you doing? Put me down. Little skeleton, you're rebelling? I order you to put me down. I'm not leaving. There's still so much loot, so much money. Ignoring her protests, Jiang Tan walked off, calculating. I have no restrictions anymore. I'll use everything I know about game mechanics to seize this chance, track down hidden bosses and rare loot. It'll be dangerous, but worth it. And it starts here, with the hidden newbie area treasure zone, Fierce Tiger Mountain. At Fierce Bear Mountain, the air was pierced with terrified screams. Human voices echoed across the forested slope. Someone cursed loudly. Who the hell provoked them? All the monsters are coming this way. The captain's dead, run. A man who had been leading the group was now sitting flat on the ground, frantically yelling, you bastards, don't leave me behind. His eyes were wide with panic as the foul stench of a giant bear's breath closed in on him. Shivering, he muttered to himself, I can't die here. My gear, my gold, that's everything I own. Just then, he felt someone approaching from behind. For a second, he hoped his teammates had come to save him, but when he turned around, his eyes bulged in horror. Bloodshot with fear, it wasn't his comrades. It was Jiang Tan, the sentient skeleton warrior, carrying a struggling blonde girl over his shoulder. That terrifying sight made the poor man scream and cry snottily. A ghost. The blonde girl kept wriggling and yelling, her face streaked with tears. What the hell is this? Let me down. Before she could struggle free, the player captain ahead of them was suddenly logged out, likely due to losing all his stats from a debuff. What the hell? Got hit with a color debuff and lost everything? At that moment, the giant bear in front of them let out a thunderous roar and lunge. This was a level 7 savage clawed bear, far stronger than the zombie wolves from earlier. Seeing the beast charge at them, the blonde girl shouted in panic. I told you it was dangerous here. Even level 5 players get wrecked, run, or we'll lose all our loot. She turned to Jiang Tan, eyes pleading for him to flee, but his thoughts were far different. Instead of fear, he felt a sense of relief and excitement. Lucky, looks like most of the players here got wiped out already. That means no one will interrupt me. Plus, these players grouped all the bears in one place. Perfect for farming and even better for fulfilling the hidden boss trigger conditions. Without hesitation, he coldly dropped the blonde girl to the ground. Ow, my butt, she yelped. Rubbing herself in pain, she sat up and angrily scolded him. You stupid skeleton, are you rebelling against your master? I summoned you. But before she could say more, her voice caught in her throat. She looked around in horror and realized they were now completely surrounded by savage clawed bears. Meanwhile, Jiang Tan was ecstatic. Perfect. All the wild monsters are here now. The girl, on the verge of tears, pleaded, "Little skeleton, please, let's get out of here." But just then, a bear charged at her from behind. She turned, eyes wide with terror, but Jiang Tan had already stepped in. Sword raised, to intercept it. "Why won't you listen to reason?" she screamed. Jiang Tan had only one goal: draw all the aggro to himself. That way, the girl would be safe. And he could execute his strategy. Take out every one of them. The bears attacked ferociously, but he dodged them all with ease. First the paw swipe, then the bite. Easy to predict, he thought, leaping over the bear's maw as it snapped at empty air. With his limited HP, he couldn't afford to take even 2 hits. So he maximized every ounce of his in-game knowledge and skeletal reflexes to avoid every strike. The girl watching from behind gradually changed from frightened to awestruck. He's amazing, none of them can touch him. He's even getting them to attack each other. While she marveled, Jiang Tan analyzed calmly. A skeleton like me, aided by internal system modules, moves faster than regular players. Savage clawed bears hit hard and have lots of HP. But they're slow. I completely outrun them. Their weak points? Ankles and heads. He made his move. As one bear raised its paw, Jiang Tan slashed at its ankle, then jumped and stabbed it in the eye. The creature collapsed, trembling and unable to rise. The blonde girl was stunned. They're all crippled? With the bears disabled, Jiang Tan knew what to do next. Strike the vital points for critical damage. Finish them off. But before he could continue, the downed bears suddenly began glowing. Ah, of course, he thought. There's a reason they're called newbie killers. Once disabled, they activate their special skill. It's coming. The bears released arcs of lightning, a skill that could paralyze players instantly. Jiang Tan moved to the front, shielding the girl from the incoming shock. The girl panicked. He can't take it. I have to help him. She summoned her weapon, but froze mid-action. Jiang Tan was unharmed. Standing within the lightning storm, he looked almost majestic, sword resting on his shoulder. They made a mistake, he mused. Undead like me aren't affected by paralysis. No flesh, no nerves. Their trump card doesn't work. Seizing the opportunity, he leapt high and drove his sword deep into the skull of the nearest bear. They're immobilized for 3 seconds while casting, more than enough to land a fatal critical hit. Watching from behind, the girl's face went pale with awe. So strong. As the final bear collapsed, the others shrank back in fear. They'd seen enough. Jiang Tan knew their patterns by heart. Combined with his skeleton's immunity to status effects, he could fight them all without getting hit. For each kill, the system rewarded him with 50 evolution points and 30 express. Excellent rewards. I'll farm here until I evolve. That hidden boss is as good as mine. Without hesitation, he attacked the next bear. And then the next. Soon, the system notified. Level up. The blonde girl gasped, blushing as she jumped with joy. He leveled up. My little skeleton is incredible. His movements, they're exactly like those of the legendary player Jiang Tan. She couldn't believe her own thoughts. No way. Could this be some special surprise the game built in just for him? And summoned by me, no less. She shook her head, trying to snap herself out of it. Focus. Trong man, not the time to daydream. He's mine now. And look at all this loot. Excited, she ran around grabbing the gold and items dropped by the bears. This must be fate. I summoned the best skeleton ever. Time to put him to good use. Go, little skeleton. My future happiness depends on you. Meanwhile, Jiang Tan continued fighting, but a strange feeling gnawed at him. Why do I feel like someone's watching me? The system dinged. Evolution points, 421,000. He glanced at the remaining bears, still retreating in fear. At this rate, I'll evolve again soon. Suddenly, a system message appeared. Your exceptional performance has unlocked the hidden evolution path. Jiang Tan blinked. Hidden evolution? An interface appeared, showing a new evolution tree with twice the rewards of the standard path. So that's it. The hidden path takes more effort, but offers greater returns. I was planning to clear out all these monsters anyway. Of course I'm choosing it. He turned to the terrified bears with a faint smile. Don't you want to know what hidden evolution looks like? The bear pack growled menacingly at Jiang Tan, their massive bodies instinctively retreating. Then, with a flash of his golden sword, Jiang Tan easily cut down another unfortunate beast. He stabbed his sword into the ground and tapped the system menu. Thinking, that should be the last one. The points he gained had started to dwindle, indicating the evolutionary harvest was nearly exhausted. Still missing 20 points. Damn it, looks like there won't be any more low-tier bears respawning soon. At least he had cleared the den within the time limit. As he absent-mindedly looted the corpses, a system alert popped up. Warning. Hidden boss detected nearby. Jiang Tan looked toward the depths of the forest, where a faint violet glow shimmered. A hidden boss? Must be the bear king of this mountain. Interesting. He smiled and headed toward it. The conditions to summon this hidden boss were notoriously strict. Only a level 10 player who cleared the entire bear zone within 45 minutes could trigger it. Almost no one knew the requirement. But clearly, he met it. Standing behind a tree, Jiang Tan observed the mountain bear king, level 15 and exuding a fearsome presence. Damn, it looks strong, he reminded himself. Low-tier bosses were usually docile unless their territory was invaded. Then a thought struck him, wait, am I even a player? Right, he wasn't, not anymore. Still, curiosity tugged at him, should I try fighting it anyway? But he quickly dismissed the idea. No, provoking the bear king this early is suicide. Speed and precision are crucial. There's no room for mistakes. He tried to recall the boss's special attack, Savage Claw. Was it? Nothing came to mind. In one of his earlier test runs, this boss had chased him across the entire forest. Forget it, better wait until I've evolved further. He returned to the previous battlefield, looked at the slain bears, and thought, guess I'll have to wait for them to respawn. His gaze drifted to the faint, glowing purple tether wrapped around his wrist. So this is what it feels like, the bond of a summoned creature. He could sense the connection between him and the girl who had summoned him. Even without seeing her, he knew what she was doing. He turned and spotted Trong Man, crouched beside a bear corpse, rummaging through loot. There she is, still scavenging. But then, he noticed movement, several players approaching her. He ducked behind a nearby bush to observe. A man in iron armor spoke up. Boss, the monsters are gone. Is the game bugged? The bald one scratched his head. Everything's wiped clean. The scar-faced leader barked. Idiots, someone already cleared this zone. You blind? Look at the bear corpses. He clenched his fists. Who the hell dared trespass on Tiger Beast Guild's territory? Iron Armor asked. Boss, you think it was Qian Tong? I heard the vice leader had a turf war with them at the canyon recently. Didn't the guild master say? Before he could finish, Scarface grabbed him by the collar. Say one more word about this to the guild master and I'll kill you myself. The poor guy shook his head furiously. I won't say a word. I swear. Scarface growled. Search the area. The bodies are fresh. They haven't gotten far. If we find whoever did this, there'll be a reward. The two underlings split up to begin their search. From the nearby bushes, Jiang Tan heard everything. Iron Armor muttered while scanning the area. Boss sure loves barking orders. Where am I even supposed to look? What if a stray bear jumps me? Just then, he heard a delighted squeal. I'm rich. I'm so rich. He turned to see a blonde girl kneeling beside a bear corpse, eyes sparkling as she dug through the loot. Trong Man was elated. A purple-grade crafting material? Jackpot. This haul must be worth a fortune. She didn't realize the danger behind her. Iron Armor's eyes lit up. Found someone. He marched up behind her and shouted. Hey, where the hell did you come from? Startled, Trong Man turned around. He blinked in surprise. It was just a girl. He drew his sword. Who are you? What are you doing in our guild's territory? His comrades arrived moments later. What's going on? Thiet Te replied. Boss, I found a suspicious player. Trong Man scratched her head, forcing a polite smile. I'm just looking for my summoned creature. It wandered off. I came here to find it. Scarface snorted. A summoned creature that runs off on its own? That's a new one. Cut the crap. Where's your squad? She blinked. Squad? I don't have a squad. Just me and my summon. Scarface turned to the archer. Got it. And Kyu. Restrain her. Don't let her escape or force a logout. And Kyu grinned wickedly. Understood. He advanced toward her. Trong Man tensed and summoned her weapon. Stammering. What are you trying to do? And Kyu laughed. Still trying to resist? I like your spirit. Then he paused, frowning as he looked her over. Boss, wait, I don't think she's lying. Scarface raised an eyebrow. And Kyu explained. She's a level 9 necromancer. Her summons are slow and weak. No way she soloed all those bears. The wounds are clean and precise, clearly made by a sword. Also, she's completely alone. Might be a scavenger who wandered in after someone else did the work. Players like that were often called bone pickers, low-level looters who followed hunting parties to scavenge leftover items. Scarface grunted. Fine, she's yours. The bald guy chuckled. And Kyu smirked. Thanks, boss. Then Scarface turned to the others. Thiet Tay, Da Luke, keep searching. Thiet Tay groaned. Come on, boss. I wanted to see what he'd do to her. Scarface snapped. Find the damn intruder. If something goes wrong, it's your head. At that moment, Aunt Kyu lunged at Trong Man Man with incredible speed. She panicked. Too fast. Don't touch me, she shouted. I'll kill you. Aunt Kyu ignored her threats. You know what's the most realistic thing in Wilderness Era? Emotion. She could only pray. Please, little skeleton. Where are you? And then, he was there. Behind Aunt Kyu, Jiang Tan had already appeared. Trong Man Man's teary eyes widened as she whispered in her heart. Tiu Ko Lao. Jiang Tan silently reached out and grabbed Aunt Kyu's shoulder. The man turned and screamed in agony. Scarface and Da Luke spun around in shock. There, beside Trong Man Man, stood a skeletal warrior. She burst into tears of relief and threw herself into Jiang Tan's arms. You came back. I couldn't stall them any longer. Scarface was frozen. A skeleton took down Aunt Kyu? No way. He shouted. What happened? Aunt Kyu sobbed, clutching his arm. My hand. Without another word, Jiang Tan hoisted Trong Man Man onto his back and ran. Scarface stared, realization dawning. A skeleton swordsman. A necromancer. The bears. Was it her summon that killed them all? His face darkened. We've been tricked. Thiet Tay shouted. What now, boss? Scarface growled. If we let them escape, we're screwed. After them. A voice echoed across Manhung Mountain. From over there, they were heading that way. Jiang Tan carried Trong Man Man and ran with all his might, while she clung tightly to him, murmuring, Little skeleton, you finally came back. I thought I'd never see you again. They dashed forward through the forest. While behind them, the group continued their pursuit, shouting, Stop right there. Seeing how close their pursuers were, Trong Man Man said, Little skeleton, put me down. I can run on my own. Maybe I can even help you. Little skeleton. But Jiang Tan didn't respond. He couldn't speak. Nor did he obey her request to put her down. That led her to let her imagination run wild. He's not letting me go. Could it be? No way. Little skeleton can't bear to leave me? Could he have feelings for me? Oh gosh. Even though he's just a skeleton. Up close he's kind of handsome. Her cheeks flushed red with embarrassment at her own thoughts. Without mercy, Jiang Tan flung her heart into a bush. She landed with leaves in her mouth. Unable to speak, from her hiding spot, she watched the pursuing group rush past her, still chasing after Jiang Tan. Her heart was moved. Is little skeleton trying to lure them away to protect me? Meanwhile, up ahead, Jiang Tan sighed inwardly and made a decision. Guess I'll have to fight. He analyzed the enemy's formation. Some were melee fighters meant to block. Others harassed from a distance or acted as scouts. A well-rounded murder and loot party. Fortunately, his earlier ambush had already taken out their archer, and the guy's morale was shaken. That gave him an opening. Jiang Tan suddenly stopped and turned to face his pursuers. One of them shouted, Boss, the girl's gone. The scar-faced leader replied. The summon's still here. She must be hiding nearby. Damn it, we got tricked. Who'd have thought she could control her summon this well? Stay sharp. She's around here somewhere. He glanced around warily. How could she have wiped out all those wild monsters by herself in such a short time? Was it to level up? Or gather resources? Something's off. And that forest, it had a strange feeling to it. Better figure it out before making another move. He turned to his comrade. Lao Tam, use scout skill. Check the surroundings. But the rogue, Aunt Kyu, didn't respond. Instead, he threw his empty quiver to the ground and held two poison-tipped throwing knives in his hand. Glaring at Jiang Tan, you bastard, a damn summon dared to chop off my arm? I'll kill you. The others sensed something was wrong. Calm down, Lao Tam. Jiang Tan pointed mockingly at the ground, a gesture of disdain. It provoked Aunt Kyu completely. He hurled his knives at Jiang Tan, who easily deflected them with his sword. Got him, Jiang Tan thought. Hook, line, and sinker. Scarface cursed silently. Damn it, he made the first move. But there's no ambush? In that case, strike first. Kill the summon. With that, he and the other two charged toward Jiang Tan. Kill it, then we'll find the girl. One of them leapt into the air, aiming to slash down from above. Jiang Tan readied his stance, thinking, still not angry enough. Huh? Scarface came down with a heavy mace attack, a crushing blow, but Jiang Tan dodged with ease. The man was startled. Too fast. Summoned skeletons are supposed to be slow. Just then, the system issued a warning to the group. They all halted and looked at the alert. You have been marked by the hidden boss of Manhung Mountain. Their faces turned pale. A hidden boss? A massive bear emerged from the forest. Its eyes glowing red, it roared and lunged straight at them. Boss, what's coming at us? One stammered. Scarface shouted, it's the hidden boss the vice guild leader has been looking for. He was confused. Why is the boss's aggro focused on us? Fall back. Big AoE incoming, he ordered. The bear stomped the ground with massive force. Scarface barely dodged, but Kyu wasn't so lucky. He was crushed to death under the boss's foot. Even in his final moments, Kyu was still confused. Why did the boss suddenly appear? Was that girl after the hidden boss all along? The bear raised its head and let out a mighty roar. It activated berserking rampage. The team leader bolted, yelling, retreat, we can't handle this. Da Luke scurried after him, while Thea Tay was left standing closest to the boss. Dumbfounded. Huh? Captain, wait for me. Suddenly, they all felt weightless. The boss was lifting them into the air. Wah, gravity magic? Scarface gasped. It's the boss's gravitational field skill. They were all being sucked toward the bear. Thea Tay screamed, I can't break free. Use your shield, the captain shouted. While they struggled to escape, Jiang Tan observed from a nearby tree. He murmured, I remember now. The boss has gravitational field and berserking rampage. Not easy to deal with. But beginner-level bosses can't maintain skills for long. Let's see how long they last. Thea Tay was sucked into the bear's mouth and bitten in half. The other two were still being pulled in. Scarface cursed in his heart. Damn it, that girl set us up. She knew about the boss. She used her summon to lure us here. The summon's still over there. And she must be watching from afar. Suddenly, the gravitational pull faded. Sensing a chance, he shouted to his bald companion. Run, I'm almost out of HP. Damn it, what a disaster. We lost too much. Someone actually found the hidden boss of Bear Mountain. We need to report this. Then he looked to where Jiang Tan had stood, but the skeleton was gone. What? Where is it? A gust of wind swept past. A sword suddenly appeared at his throat. In one clean motion, Jiang Tan decapitated both him and the other man. Even in death, Scarface was bewildered. What? I was killed? By a summon? That cursed girl. I had to tell the guild leader about the hidden boss and her. In his final moment, he saw Jiang Tan once again mocking him with that same gesture, pointing down in contempt. Just then, the raging bear came crashing through the trees. But luckily, slaying the two men had just granted Jiang Tan 20 evolution points, exactly what he needed. The system prompted. Would you like to evolve? Naturally, in a moment like this, he had only one choice. Yes, the system immediately began the evolution process. Slowly, he grasped the beast's massive claw. Evolution protection time remaining. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. You have evolved to level 3 Skeleton Guardian. A dazzling light erupted around him, encasing him in a surge of power. You have acquired the skill. Bone Armor, Attack Form, LV.1. Shape. Arrow. Evolution protection has ended. Jiang Tan's eyes glowed blood red, his aura brimming with murderous intent. Gripping his sword tightly, he spun and slashed, his strike startling the beast. Quick Blade technique has leveled up to LV.2, attack speed increased by 40%. The newfound swiftness delighted him. Seeing the once fearsome hidden boss, the Bear King, tremble. He smirked with satisfaction. As expected, the bear-type monster's weaknesses were still its joints and neck. Come on then, he taunted, flicking his skeletal fingers with mockery. Show me what you've got. His arrogance infuriated the monster. The killing aura around the boss turned pitch black, its glowing crimson eyes flaring with bloodlust. Too fast. Despite the successful evolution, Jiang Tan couldn't rely on brute force. He needed to stay mobile. Luckily, his new bone arrow skill gave him a ranged option. Sharp bone spikes sprouted from his wrists, locking onto the beast's eye. Jiang Tan slid back and launched them. A loud roar echoed across the battlefield. The bone shards struck the monster's eye, eliciting an agonizing cry. The shockwave alone left Jiang Tan momentarily dazed. The Bear King activated its gravitational storm field again. His brain whirred. If he got pulled in, close-range combat would be deadly. Thinking quickly, he launched more bone arrows, using the gravitational pull to improve aim. The projectiles flew straight, piercing the monster's remaining eye. Blinded, it howled in pain. Seizing the chance, Jiang Tan dove beneath its body, sliding forward in one swift motion. He poured all his strength into his sword and, aided by the gravitational pull, drove it deep into the beast's abdomen. The blow nearly ended it, but the Bear King, worthy of its title, still had strength left. Warning. Boss is casting gravitational storm field. Rocks. Trees. Debris from all around flew toward Jiang Tan. This is it, he thought, a fight to the death. Low on bone arrows, he leapt between obstacles, dodging projectiles as he closed in, waiting for bones to regrow. He twisted mid-air and hurled a spike directly at the boss's eye socket. Direct hit. The eye burst in a spray of crimson. He followed through, jamming his sword into the ruined eye and straight into the beast's skull. The impact shattered the gravitational field. The boss was finally vulnerable. Out of ammo and with time ticking. He looked at his hand. Bone regrowth would take time. But then, a voice. "Player, I've waited for you. For a very long time." Startled, Jiang Tan looked up. The voice came from the boss. "What? That's impossible. Bosses aren't supposed to talk." Stunned, he realized the beast wasn't finished yet. Warning. Boss is casting Thunderstorm 1000 volts. Avoid contact. He barely paid attention to the alert. Did they update the game to let bosses talk? He wondered. How pointless. Do the devs have nothing better to do? But if the beast was casting lightning. He smirked. Time to act. Without hesitation, Jiang Tan activated lightning immunity. A bolt of thunder cracked the sky. Meanwhile, Trong Man was panicking. "Tiu Ko Lao," she cried, looking toward the flash of lightning in the distance. Something happened. No wonder he hasn't come back yet. Even as the system warned. Inventory overload. Movement speed reduced by 40%. She didn't stop. She threw everything aside, eyes determined. He saved me. I can't just abandon him. Summoning her weapon, she charged forward. Even if I'm useless, maybe I can do something. At that moment, she looked up. Something was flying toward her. A small bear? No, a bear corpse. Launched from afar. Screaming in surprise, she quickly composed herself and dealt the final blow to the already defeated creature. System notification. Player, Little Fool Man, has slain the hidden boss. You have leveled up. Current level, 10. Please proceed to the main city to select a class. At the Tiger Beast Guild headquarters. In the General Director's office. A man stammered nervously. "Boss Tren, please, let me explain?" But Boss Tren's voice was ice cold. As domineering as a corporate overlord. "Explain? Explain my ass. Useless trash. The whole damn lot of you." He was trembling with rage. Not only had they concealed the Bear Mountain region, but they also let a rookie slip in and take down the hidden boss. He had barely stepped away from the area when everything went to hell. The losses this time? Immeasurable. The subordinate lay tied up on the carpet, mouth stuffed with a ball gag, yet still tried to defend himself. "Boss Tren, I swear, we'll catch that bastard. We'll beat him down so hard he won't dare step out of the city again." One example to scare off 100. He's just one guy, we just got caught off guard. That's all. Please, give me and the brothers one more shot. Tren's blood pressure spiked. One guy? He snarled, eyes narrowing as he casually walked over to his golf club set. Selecting the longest one, he sneered. "So let me get this straight, there's a whole gang of you. And none of you could take down a level 10 player? Is that it?" The subordinate shrank back in terror. No, that's not what I meant." "Oh, then tell me, why the hell do I keep you around?" Boss Tren's voice was laced with venom, each word grinding like his clenched teeth. He was all but chewing the guy out. Literally. "Boss, please, just one mo." Thwack. A brutal strike silenced him. Strawberry syrup, or maybe not syrup, splattered everywhere. He calmly wiped his hands. 3 people couldn't take out 1 target. Fine, but to let him find the hidden boss of Bear Mountain. 2? Useless trash, the lot of you. He took a deep drag of his cigar and exhaled slowly. Thankfully, this didn't happen in the canyon zone. The plan there's still on track. Right? No screw-ups? Behind him, someone quickly answered. "Rest assured, Chairman, everything in the canyon zone is under control." "Good. Bear Mountain no longer matters." Boss Tren muttered. "Send a few reliable men to give that player a thorough beatdown. And reinforce the canyon. Don't mess up my plan." "Yes, sir. Everything's going smoothly. At mighty Bear Mountain. Come on, get moving. This stuff is money." A chorus of nagging voices echoed as the skeletons busily gathered loot after a hard-fought battle. Each one was working diligently. "Seriously, why are we all skeletons? Yet some of you are so damn lazy? Look at your senior over there. Little skeleton just soloed the hidden boss." Jiang Tan stood still, lost in thought. Item info display. Level 10 Mighty Bear Cloak. Plus 2000 HP. Plus 1500 mana. Plus 100 magic resistance. Plus 150 physical resistance. Currently equipped. Fashion mode. Mighty Bear Tail, level? Plus 20% movement speed. Plus 150 spell power. Plus 100 normal attack. plus 500 HP, plus 500 mana, plus 10% toughness. Currently equipped. Fashion mode. Mighty Bear Boots, level? Plus 5% movement speed, plus 1000 HP, plus 2000 mana, plus 100 magic resistance, plus 150 physical resistance. Currently equipped. Fashion mode. Look, look, Trong Man called out to Jiangtan excitedly, puffing her chest and leaning in. Check out the outfit I just unlocked. Isn't it gorgeous? It was the first time Jiangtan had seen her like this. And he responded awkwardly. The stats are pretty good too. System display. Essence of Mighty Bear, 479. Bear Fangs, 263. Bear Hide, 152. Bone Wolf Essence, 33. Wolf Fangs, 54. Gold, 17 grams 9s 189 C. Look at all this loot. Look at the materials. Trong Man shouted with glee. And we can switch classes now too. Let's head back to the city and cash all this in. We'll be rich. She glanced at Jiangtan, who looked completely spaced out. With an annoyed huff, she turned to scold another skeleton. Hey, are you slacking off again? You're supposed to scrape the bear hide, not shred it. Jiangtan plopped down with a sigh. That cloak's worth tens of thousands, and he was using it as fashion gear. He had no idea when he'd be free of this girl. But this time, the level up was absolutely worth it. He checked his status. His stats now probably exceeded a level 15 player. And the new skill was incredibly practical. Bone Armor. Arrow Form, level 1, fires bone arrows using his own skeleton as ammunition. It used up his body. But the power was worth the evolution points. But the system wasn't done. Divine Evolution System. Congratulations, you've unlocked a hidden path. Keep collecting evolution points. Current points, 520,000. Damn, it took 10 to 20 points per kill on same level enemies. Only bosses would make real progress. Looks like Trong Man was right, it was time for a class change. She was still yelling at a skeleton. Didn't you hear me? Use a bone knife to skin the bear. Jiangtan thought to himself. Once a necromancer switches class, the first skill is to strengthen summoned skeletons, boosting their stats by 30%. Since he was bound to her as a summon, her growing stronger would directly boost his power. Then came her voice again. Little skeleton, come here, there's a treasure chest. A purple glow shimmered around them. System. Mighty Bear Mountain Treasure Chest. You've defeated the hidden boss. Great explorer. Enjoy your reward granted by the World of Wilderness era. Trong Man was overjoyed. Ooh, let's see what's inside. Jiangtan watched from behind. Curious. Could be a weapon or gear. Check it out, she gasped. It's a universal rare skill book, an AoE skill. A rare drop from a low-level boss? Must be because they were the first to kill it. She looked at him. You want it, right? Since you helped collect all these materials and coins. You deserve this skill too. Jiangtan hugged the book tightly, overwhelmed with joy. Maybe she's not so greedy after all. She grinned wide. After you learn this, we'll be able to farm mobs way faster. That means more gold for me. Her laughter echoed like bells. Jiangtan instantly regretted what he just thought. Oh well, learn the skill first. System prompt. Learn Thunderclap Lightning from skillbook? Yes. 3, 2, 1. Skill acquired. Thunderclap Lightning, LV. 1. Element. Lightning. Mana cost. 150. Cooldown. 1.5s. Effect. Releases multiple lightning bolts, dealing 200 spell damage per hit in a wide area. A gift from the Lord of Bear Mountain. May the strength of the bear remain with you. Wow. Trong Man cheered. It worked. Try it. Hurry. Not wanting to disappoint her, Jiangtan immediately activated it. The thrill, the power, it had been a long time since he felt this excited. He raised his sword, and lightning rained down like divine wrath, blasting enemies back 100 meters. The skeletons and Trong Man burst into applause. Awesome, I'll be rich in no time. But only Jiangtan knew. The damage was too low. Even for an AoE skill. It was weak. He realized he could evolve the skill using his evolution points. Killing efficiency meant faster progression. No question. All points into Thunderclap Lightning. System. Skill upgrading. Ting. Lightning crackled wildly around him. Trong Man yelped, covering her ears. What the heck are you doing now? She noticed something. His aura had changed. Thunderclap Lightning. Level 5. Jiangtan unleashed the skill. The sky roared and the ground split. Boulders launched into the air. Oh my god, little skeleton, you're amazing, she squealed. Jiangtan smiled. It was the right choice. His evolution rate was about to skyrocket. Then, without warning, he grabbed Trong Man Man and slung her onto his back. What are you doing? Can't you carry me princess style? He ignored her, grumbling. First, earn evolution points. Then, get this girl her class change. Their destination, the main city. Beyond the canyon zone.